Hello, my name is Charles Camage. I am a registered migration agent number 02086664. I am authorised to provide advice on immigration to Australia. International Business and Introduction Brokers provide Australian immigration visa assistance to all Australian immigration visa types for those with a desire to emigrate to Australia. INBIB have been established as an international gateway for Australian business brokers, real estate agents, business and property sellers to sell their property or business through a networking of local and international business brokers, immigration agents, real estate agents, accountants, solicitors and private sellers. For intending migrants looking for immigration assistance to Australia, not only is the decision to migrate difficult, but so is knowing what category of visa application will ensure the best chance of a successful application. What information should I put in my visa application to ensure the best chance of success? If I am successful, how will I learn about the new culture and life in Australia? What is the tax system that will apply to me? What laws affect my rights and obligations in Australia? How does the school system work for my children? Should I rent or buy property? And what laws apply to me if I do? What help does the government give in setting up businesses? We offer an extensive service to assist migrants of all categories, not only with their visa applications, but with their migration and settlement concerns. INBIB can establish a vehicle for you into Australia's business and commercial environment. This service can include the preparation of a business plan to support your migration application. We can also assist you with company structures, formation and or purchase, identification of suitable business opportunities, feasibility research into commercial opportunities, search for suitable joint venture partners, exploratory visits to enable first-hand assessment of lifestyle and business conditions in Australia, and arrange meetings with experts in banking, finance, property, industrial development, law and employment. INBIB offers optional services to assist you and your family on arrival and to settle into your new life in Australia, and can, for example, meet you at the airport, arrange on-arrival short-term accommodation, assist with the purchase of cars, furniture and other household applications. For skilled migrants, we can assist with assessing your eligibility, and to that end, interested migrants should complete the INBIB Migration Assessment Form, to be found on the INBIB website. Skilled migration is points tested. For faster processing, we can guide you through the state sponsorship process, and this is regulated on a state-by-state basis, but importantly will require your occupation to be listed as a demand occupation for the sponsoring state. We will need information such as age, English ability, occupation, qualifications, work experience, etc. For those applicants who are eligible for business migration, please note whether you are searching for businesses for sale or properties for sale in Australia, the INBIB site is regarded as the prime site for all Australian business brokers and private sellers seeking buyers from the international market. When searching for businesses for sale, in some cases financial information may only be released upon the signing of a confidentiality agreement. If the type of business or property that you are interested in is not listed, please submit a request by using our Contact Us form. The INBIB site is used for promotional purposes and has a global reach. If you are unable to find a business or property of interest, please let us know and we will endeavour to assist. You can also register to receive details of newly listed businesses and properties for the industry category of your preference. Not only does INBIB provide one of Australia's leading sites for migration and business or property searches, we have the advantage of a membership that will assist prospective migrants identify business opportunities as part of their business plan to be included in the applicant's immigration application. Each new listing generates an automated email to our 300+ agent membership in 80 countries. This allows our membership to promote business migration and business opportunities directly to the prospective client and, importantly, in the client's time zone. Let me talk about business migration specifically to Tasmania in regard to the requirements and the criteria. Business skills migration requirements. Most business people migrate to Australia through a two-stage business visa system where an initial provisional visa leads to permanent residency. This is provided an applicant becomes actively involved in the management as either an owner or part owner of a business which meets at least one of the following criteria: develops business links with international markets, creates or maintains employment for Australian citizens or permanent residents, exports Australian goods and services or contributes to import replacement, introduces new or improved technology, adds to commercial and competitiveness within sectors of the Australian economy. To encourage business migrants to settle in regional or rural and low growth areas of Australia, which also includes Tasmania, individual state governments may sponsor business skills applicants who wish to settle in their state at both the provisional and permanent visa stages. The criteria for sponsored visas are less stringent than unsponsored visas. The Tasmanian government can sponsor migrants under the following visas: State Territory sponsored business owner, provisional visa subclass 163. State Territory sponsored senior executive provisional visa subclass 164. State Territory sponsored investor provisional visa subclass 165. These provisional visas lead to a State Territory sponsored business owner residence visa subclass 892 and a State Territory sponsored investor residence visa subclass 893. High caliber applicants may be eligible for permanent residency under the business talent (migrant visa) subclass 132 on the basis of their overseas business activities. Let me talk about the Stage 1 provisional entry. This is primarily with a focus on the subclass 163. Firstly, you have to have been sponsored by an Australian state or territory government. You have an overall successful business career. For 2 of the 4 years prior to application, you have or had an ownership interest in a main business or businesses with an annual turnover of at least Australian dollars 300,000. The Australian $300,000 is the currency equivalent of your own country. Or you have had a sound continuous business employment record in a senior management role in a qualifying business for at least 4 years immediately before application is made and have demonstrated a high level of management skill. You have business and personal net assets of at least 500,000 Australian dollars, which are lawfully acquired and available to transfer to Australia to conduct or establish a business in Australia, plus additional assets available to settle in Australia. You need to be under the age of 55, unless exceptional economic benefit to the state is demonstrated. You have not been engaged in a business where the provision of technical, trade or professional services took up more than 50% of your time. You need to meet strict health and character requirements. You must have a realistic commitment to establish or participate in a qualifying business in Australia and maintain substantial ownership and direct and continuous involvement in the management of that business. Stage 2, permanent residency. You have been sponsored by an Australian state or territory government. You hold one of the provisional business skills visas as previously outlined. you have had and continue to have an ownership interest in one or more actively operating main businesses in Australia for at least 2 years before applying for permanent residence. For each of your main businesses, an Australian business number, brackets ABN, has been obtained, and all business activity statements, BAS statements, required by the Australian Tax Office, ATO, for that period have been submitted to the ATO and are included in the permanent residence application. Unless the sponsoring state government has determined there are exceptional circumstances, you must meet at least 2 of the following 3 requirements. In the 12 months prior to applying for permanent residence, your main business or main businesses together had a turnover of at least 200,000 Australian dollars. Neither you nor your spouse have been involved in business activities which are not generally acceptable in Australia. You have been in Australia holding a qualifying visa, for example a state territory sponsored provisional business owner visa, for at least 1 year in the 2 years immediately before applying for permanent residence. Business visa state sponsorship. In regards to Tasmania, the Tasmanian government welcomes applications for sponsorship from business migrants who genuinely wish to settle in Tasmania, to own and operate a business in and of benefit to the state. The Department of Economic Development is responsible for sponsorship assessments and grants of the Business Talent Visa, which is the subclass 132, and the state-sponsored Business Skills Visas at provisional level and also at residence level. Each stage of 2 and 3, which is the state-sponsored business visas, constitutes a separate visa application with separate applications for sponsorship, and provisional sponsorship does not automatically guarantee sponsorship for residence. To apply for Tasmanian government state sponsorship, you must 1. Visit Tasmania to investigate business opportunities, lifestyle, education and housing, and while in the state arrange to meet with the staff from the Economic Development to discuss settling in Tasmania. 2. Complete a sponsorship application form. Economic Development will consider any additional relevant information provided and reserves the right to request additional information or to waive the requirement to provide all of the before-mentioned information. It is important to note that the Tasmanian government sponsorship is not available for people residing in any other state or territory. You must meet all the relevant Department of Immigration criteria for the state-sponsored business migrant visas. To qualify for sponsorship at the 2nd residence visa stage, you must meet the minimum DIAC criteria, hold a valid provisional business skills visa, have owned and operated a business which is of economic benefit to Tasmania for at least 2 years, and have owned and operated a business of the type described in your initial stage 1 business proposal, unless Economic Development was notified in writing of the changed business plan at the time the business was purchased or started. Business Talent Visa Sponsorship. If you wish to apply for business talent sponsorship, you must complete the 3-step application process as outlined above. You must also describe that you will make or have made a commercial investment in an actively operating Tasmanian business of no less than $1 million. Lesser amounts may be accepted in some circumstances. The attitude of the Tasmanian government that talk is cheap. Applications evidencing financial commitment such as contracts, negotiations, exchange, payment of deposit, lodgement of tender or investment of funds will be considered favourably. Thank you.